The best American football players on the move yet again, as star Chelsea player Christian Pulisic is transferring to AC Milan. Now, why am I talking about this move? Well, it's probably because Pulisic is the most popular and best player to play for Team USA since, I don't know, guys like Clint Dempsey and Landon Donovan were on the team. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, things haven't really gone well for Christian Pulisic since he's joined Chelsea, the team he's been with for like the last 4 years. And that's tragic because he was one of the few Americans, if any, to be playing in the Premier League. So to see him fail at the top is kind of heartbreaking for Team USA. But we move on. Now he's heading to Serie A as he plays for AC Milan. And AC Milan is a solid club. A club where I think Christian Pulisic can carve out a lot more minutes for himself. Because although he was playing for Chelsea, he was coming off the bench and the team was stacked. There was too many good players at his position, which is the main reason for him transferring. He just wasn't getting enough playing time, which sucked to see because when this guy went out and played for Team USA, where he got a lot more playing time, he was showing the world what he was capable of doing. But Chelsea just didn't see it that way, and they decided that after 4 long years, it was time to part ways with the American star. And it's kind of surprising because before joining Chelsea, Christian Pulisic really blew up onto the scene in Bundesliga when he was playing with Dortmund. Now, in Dortmund, he was there for about another 4 years, and he had a little bit of a better career, I would say. I mean, it wasn't too much better, but it was enough for a club like Chelsea to go out and get him. So, there's that. Now, to understand the kind of player that Christian Pulisic really is, we gotta take a look, and I mean a deep look into his stats when he started with Bundesliga and Dortmund. Now, in 2015-16, Christian Pulisic was about 16 years old. He had about 4 starts, played in about 9 of those matches, scored 2 goals with no assists, unfortunately. But the 2 goals in his first season were very vital for his growing process, as in the next season, 2017, at 17 years old, that's really when Christian Pulisic took over in Bundesliga. Because there he had played in 29 matches. Yes, 20 more than the previous year. He had 3 goals, 7 assists. And, 3 of those goals were off of penalty kicks, but whatever. I mean, the 7 assists is the very important part of his game that developed. He developed into more of a passer, which was fantastic. It was another piece of the arsenal that he could add to his game. Now, in his 3rd year with Dortmund, that was probably his best year in Bundesliga, I would say. I mean, he started in 27 matches, played 32 of those, had 4 goals and 5 assists. And honestly, the stats would kind of peak there. That's probably where he played his best soccer, and he was only 18 years old. And, but personally, Dortmund did have their worst season in Christian Pulisic's run when he was playing his best. Now, in 2019, Pulisic's final year with the club, he only played in about 20 matches, which is a huge dive, had about 900 minutes, but he still ended up scoring 4 goals and 4 assists. So his output was just about the same, yet he played a lot less, which was fantastic. And that is why I think Chelsea was willing to go out and take a chance on this guy. Now, with Chelsea, in his first season, he did have 25 matches played with about 19 started. And, you might think that was a lot. And hell, he proved to be useful in all of those matches as he scored a career-high 9 goals in that season with 4 assists. Now, 2020 was probably his peak year. Let's be real, it probably was. And it especially was his peak year with Chelsea, because those stats would only go on to dip more and more. But he didn't let something like a lot less starts and a lot less playing time get him down or lose his productivity, because in fact, I'd say he got even more productive with the less time that he played. I mean, after 2020, 2021 was about the same season. He did score a little bit less goals, but whatever. In 2022, with 500 minutes cut from his total time, yes, 500 minutes, as he would start in 6 less games compared to 2020. In 2022, at 22 years old, Christian Pulisic would go on to score 6 goals with 2 assists. Now, compare that to his previous seasons, and they look about the same. The numbers stay similar, even though his time was cut by like 1/3. But 2023 rolls around, and basically he's out the door. At least he was halfway out the door with Chelsea by the time that 2023 came around, which is tragic. But, you know, there's a reason he did get transferred to AC Milan, where I do think that he can revive his career. Now, his stats may look a little bit iffy when it comes to his club career, but that's not taking into account the time that he did with Team USA. Because when he played with Team USA, he was a star. That's probably where he peaked, where he got the most popular. And, you know, Americans, they love to push their stars, because when it comes to football, they don't have too many of them. And, you know, they come few and far between. I mean, hell, they're promoting guys like Matt Turner. And sure, Matt Turner's cool and all, but, you know, the reason they're promoting him is because he's the goalie. I mean, they did the same thing with Tim Howard. They got nobody to, like, push, really. So, I mean, Tim Way is pretty cool. Weston McKennie, also, you know, with his colored hair, he's very recognizable. But none of those come close to Christian Pulisic, who's on a whole nother tier of popularity. And when it comes to sports and advertising, you know, all these sports leagues are trying to do is earn more money. And they do that by pushing out their best players. And that's exactly what Christian Pulisic is. He's basically a cash cow for Team USA. And deservedly so. I mean, dude is a star. Let's look at his stats here for the last couple of seasons that he's played with America. Now, since bursting onto the scene for Team USA back in 2016, Christian Pulisic has been an amazing goal scorer. I mean, in the 60 appearances he's made so far, he's gotten about 25 goals. And he was one of the main reasons that, you know, Team USA was able to qualify for last year's World Cup. He was a key contributor, and, you know, that was huge for Team USA because they had missed the World Cup back in 2018. Heartbreaking year. So, you know, USA decided to revitalize, change everything up with their national team, and putting Christian Pulisic at the front and center of it was one of the major differences. And, you know, I want to say 2023, he's made 4 appearances, 3 goals. Hell, that's a high-ass ratio. I mean, in his first year back in 2016, in 11 appearances, he had 3 goals. 2022 is looking at 5 goals, which was one of his best seasons playing for the national team. And sure, Team USA did just have that huge loss versus Panama in the semifinals the other day. Heartbreaker, loss in penalties after they had scored, after Jesus had scored in the 105th minute. Unfortunately, Team USA would go on to lose that. And that really sucks because they were looking dominant in that little tournament that was going on. Unfortunately, they lose in the semis to Panama, and now Panama's taking on Mexico. And I would make a video about that, but I don't really care. Soccer loves to copyright these videos, so there's not going to be too many clips here and there. Doesn't matter. All that matters is that Captain America is now heading to AC Milan, where he will, and hopefully, you know, make his career go in a different direction than where it's been heading recently. At least at the club level. But that's about it. That's all I wanted to say in this video. Catch y'all later. Much love.